Well, it's definitely been one heck of a almost summer this year.
We have seen the wind this bad before, but it's been probably 5 years.
Yeah, the wind's been blowing so hard that even with the field recorder and the sound muffler on the lavalier mic, you can't hear anything.
We can't hardly hear yourself think. I mean, I've hardly been wearing a hat outside lately because you can't keep it on your head. It's just so annoying. Everything dries out the minute you water it. And the poor plants, these plants were all in a greenhouse, but I had a fan on them and stuff like that.
Yeah, we actually had three fans going on them, so
Right.
they had a good amount of breeze.
Yeah,
To,
but I
to
didn't create a gale force wind.
well, usually at this time of year, the wind will be perhaps 10, 12 miles an hour during the day. But recently, it's been over 25 miles an hour, which is a whole lot stronger.
We've seen it happen before. I want to say about 5 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, this happened where I wound up creating like little boxes and stuff over my vegetables because everything was just being shredded. They was literally ripping the leaves off.
Well, on top of all of that, we're sitting on pins and needles waiting for a water delivery. We're down to our last 100 gallons today. So hopefully she'll get here tonight sometime. I just sent her a message saying we have to have water tonight because the garden's going to die tomorrow if we don't have water. Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're using some Miracle Grow potting soil as something to bed the plants in. When you've been out there digging, it's kind of difficult to understand how hard that soil gets when it dries out. But you tried with a trowel and that didn't work. And then you went to the shovel. The next step would be go to the pickaxe.
Right. Well, under normal circumstances, I would have watered this bed a lot for a week, and that would have softened up the dirt. But because we're short on water, I couldn't do that. So I had watered it a little bit, but obviously not enough in the spots where I'm putting the tomatoes. So I actually wound up digging small holes, filling them with water, and then digging down a couple of times in order to be able to make the holes big enough for the plants to sit in.
Well, we've planted out tomatoes in at least 3 batches out in the soil garden this year. And we've put some wind shades up to try to stop the wind from just beating the living daylights out of the tomatoes. It's kind of working, but 25 miles an hour and higher is pretty strong.
Right. Well, we did that for the straw bales. It made a difference. They still got the stuffings knocked out of them, but it was enough of a windbreak that 2 weeks later they're doing okay. They're doing okay. So when we got done planting today, we put up more of the wind sails that we use. It doesn't stop the wind, but it does reduce the sheer impact. The part of the problem is that I've actually been having trouble keeping my stakes upright that are holding up the tomatoes.
Well, and you can't really keep a hat on. You couldn't hold the hat on your head today for very long at all.
No, I gave up. And I mean, I had it tied around my chin, but it was just blowing so hard that it was uncomfortable. Kind of get beat to death by your own hat.
People sometimes ask me why my hair always looks like it's been blown by the wind. Well, the answer is
It has been.
it absolutely has been.
It has been. It's just,
It's ironic when you sat down to start making the new strips to tie the tomato plants to the stakes, the wind died down. Well, it didn't completely go away, but
I'm also really close to the north side of the house here, and it's always less there. That's why the plants there's a bunch of plants up against the house that are actually a little bit more fragile. They get more shade, they get more wind protection, they have, in the wintertime, more protection from the cold. So it's, even though this is the north side of the house, it's actually the most protected side.
and if the wind will ever slow down for a couple of days, and we have the time, once the planting's done, I'm going to retouch that back door so that we have paint back on it. It's just been one thing after another all year long, this year and last year.
Well, part of the problem has been that the weather has been so vile this year in terms of the wind, and there's just been one thing after another. So there hasn't been any time for any maintenance. The only maintenance that gets done is just something that's like the electric's broken or the plumbing's broken. but there hasn't been any time for regular maintenance.
Well, I hope you enjoyed watching Irene mostly get blown away today in this video. If you did, like and subscribe. Well, even if you don't like it, go ahead and subscribe because she's going to be out there doing some more fun stuff.
Right.
And don't forget to hit the bell for notifications.
Right, but at least all the tomatoes are now officially planted out.
Thanks very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.